When you're trying your New Year's resolutions, it's that time of the year yet again where everybody has like a new resolution, everybody's trying to do new things, and I think it's a cool thing that everybody kind of makes an attempt at it, you know what I mean? Not everybody is successful, but it is a cool thing to see people like I have something new I want to try and let me just give it a shot. You know what I mean? Let me start the year off by doing something I've never done before, or trying something new. And I think a lot of people have goals that they have in mind, you know what I mean? Specifically when it comes to health and fitness, those are usually the big those are usually the big goals that everybody tries to accomplish. And because that is like everybody's big goal, it ends up meaning that everybody goes running to the gym. And I literally just experienced this. Okay, so the other day I'm at the gym, and mind you, I've been going to this same gym for a while now, and I was there. I don't want to say every day, you know what I mean? Obviously, there were some holidays to exclude from, and there were some whatchamacallit, some days where like I didn't end up going when I could have gone, and so on and so forth, right? There were bits and pieces where I couldn't have gone. And I also take like the weekend to kind of rest. So take that take that kind of however you want. Is like I wasn't there every day, but I was there consistently throughout the week. So Monday through Friday I would be at the gym, okay? And I was kind of like, where was everybody else at? You know what I mean? Like the gym is packed, full of people. And it's not annoying. It's just that like I was consistent. I went every single day. You know what I mean? Well, almost. I tried. You know what I mean? I'm not perfect, but I would definitely say to the point where I know that the gym isn't supposed to be that packed. I know the gym is not supposed to be that full of people. Um, I know that I think I've said it on this podcast before where it's like there would be treadmills upon treadmill after treadmill after treadmill empty, just nobody in there. And then I would complain about like somebody like choosing specifically to walk on the treadmill next to me. Well, this time it was like, especially now in the new year, the gym is full of people and the treadmills are completely full, all right? And that doesn't bother me because, it's like whatever, you get on the treadmill, you do your workout. But now it was just like absurd the amount of people that are on there, and it's like, where were you guys last year? You know what I mean? It's funny to think about it. It's just that like it feels like I'm getting lumped in with all of these people trying to make New Year's resolutions. Meanwhile, it's like I've been consistent. I know, and so I kind of talked to you know the the person like behind the desk at the gym or whatever, like the person who I see them like most mornings, you know what I mean? And I say like I wave hello or I wave goodbye when I'm leaving or whatever. And I was kind of saying that like, most of these people are going to be out of here within like by the end of the month. And they were talking to me and they were kind of like, yeah, it usually be like end of January, start of February, everybody will kind of weed out and the um quote unquote everything will go back to normal like how it used to be. So I say all that to say is that like people are trying, going to the gym and showing up, but now it kind of like, because there's so many people, there's an abundance of people at the gym. It's kind of like, darn it, they're taking up my quote unquote space. Like they're ruining the flow of what I usually of like kind of like my options are get smaller and smaller. You know what I mean? Whether it's like a machine I'm using or like a free space to kind of do some more other exercises or whatnot. Like it's the gym is packed. You know what I mean? And when the gym is packed, it's kind of hard to do the full range of your workouts. Not that it's impossible, because I definitely did them, but it was just that like, now we're stuck in this place of like I have to quote unquote wait, but I don't wait. I just do it wherever I can. But yeah, that's kind of the kind of situation I'm in. It's what I'm working with right now. And it wasn't like a a New Year's resolution of mine to go to the gym. Like I've been going. It's just a more so like now it kind of feels like, well, I've been doing this and now it feels like everybody else is just, all of a sudden everybody starts to join in, everybody starts to like pile on, and it's kind of like you're ruining up my mojo here. Like you're disrupting the flow of what it is I'm trying to of my routine, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of funny. And I think anybody who goes to the gym or has experienced this every single year understands it. It's like, hey, they're trying to get into shape. This is the real test of like athleticism or fitness, is that like you know how to operate in January, like at the gym. I don't know how to like balance it. I don't know how to be like assertive enough at the gym to kind of tell people that like you're taking up space, or like I don't know. I always feel like I have to give people some space. You know what I mean? I'm not the kind of person that's like, oh, there's like an empty slot right next to that person. Let me go and take that. You know what I mean? It's like that's why it messes me up when people like actively choose the treadmill next to mine. It's like, dude, can't you see that there's like an empty one, the other treadmill right next to it? Like, why'd you choose the one directly next to me? Like, it makes no sense. You know what I mean? It's just like it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What do you like me? What do you want from me here? You know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of funny to think about. But anyways, when you're trying your New Year's resolutions, what else is there? I mean, your New Year's resolutions could be to do really anything. It could be to travel a new place. I always feel like if you can, you will. If you want to, you will. So if you want to travel more, if you want to do all kinds of experiences, you definitely can and you definitely should. It's just a matter of like going for it. And I think it would be really funny if somebody out there like completed all of their New Year's resolutions in January. Like, you know what I'm saying? That would be that's kind of like a movie itself, so to speak. It's like a movie to see someone accomplish everything in just 1 month, and then it's like, okay, now the rest of the year is free. The rest of the year there's no pressure to accomplish kind of anything, and you're kind of free to do whatever you want. Make a new resolution, make a new dream, make a new goal for yourself. And that's kind of where we all are. That's where we all should be. That's where we all should aspire to, is that like every single month, every single day, every single minute, every single second can be focusing on a new goal. You know what I mean? Focusing on a new way of kind of doing things. You know what I'm saying? So that's just that's just the way I feel. I think that's kind of like a big understanding. But there are those New Year's resolutions that you try and you fail at, but you feel good that you tried anyways, right? Like imagine if you tried, um, I don't know, like what's a skill that's like let's say you tried to be a pilot. You know what I'm saying? It's like you tried to like learn how to fly a plane or whatever. Okay? Nobody's saying you can't do it. You know what I mean? It's definitely possible. But you try it and then you realize that like, ooh, this is actually really difficult. It's insanely hard, and it's got a lot of things involved in it that I didn't expect to be a part of it. You know what I mean? It's really hard to be a pilot. You know what I'm saying? So when you try it and then you're like, it didn't work out, but then you're like, well, it's not for me. You know what I mean? I'm not a pilot. I don't need to be that. You know what I'm saying? So then you're like, I tried it. It didn't really work out. It was really a challenging experience, and I had like, maybe you had like a certain level of anxiety about it. You know what I mean? You're like, I kind of felt like weird being in control of the plane and my anxiety, and like I'm afraid of heights or whatever. Like I learned that like I can't handle being up in the sky at that altitude and doing that stuff, and it just felt like a lot of pressure on me, you know what I'm saying? So that can be one of the things about it, is that like you tried it, you gained the experience from it, and then you learned something new about yourself. You're like, I don't like being a pilot. I don't like that experience for myself. Not that I couldn't do it, or that like it wasn't something that was like really cool or valuable to me. It's just that like I tried it, not for me, move on to the next thing. You know what I'm saying? So then you're like, maybe being like a plane, like a plane pilot isn't your thing, but you like flying a helicopter. That could be your thing. You know what I'm saying? Or vice versa. Maybe you don't like helicopters, but you like flying a plane. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Stuff like that where you can really understand certain things about yourself. You know, you can learn that like this is what I like to do. This is not what, kind of, this isn't what suits me. And then you kind of try to figure out your balance, you know? But that's why we try new things to learn more about ourselves. I think for the most part, there are a lot of things that we want to try that we know we're going to love. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to try I'm going to try horseback riding. You know what I mean? Or I'm going to try to, what's the right word? I'm going to try to, let's say I'm going to try to learn how to swim, or I'm going to learn how to I'm going to try to travel more, or I'm going to try to learn a new language, or I'm going to try to do this, or I'm going to try to do that, right? Like these are all things that we kind of think about, or we kind of see ourselves doing, but we don't know until we try, until we actually get out there and we put in the work to become something else, to become something new. And by the end of it, we realize that like most of the time we kind of are like, yeah, I tried that, it wasn't really for me. Yeah, I tried that. That's not my in my skill set. That's not something that I really want for myself anymore. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like how often do we pick up skills and then we end up like not really using them anymore? You know what I mean? Like I remember there was a time like every single day or every single week it would be like a vocabulary test at school, and I would the expectation is that my vocabulary grows very large, right? Like I would learn new words to like add, or to say new things, but in reality some of those words kind of just went lost. You know what I mean? It kind of just got, if I had some of those vocabulary words, I could describe to you the loss of it. But you know what I mean? It's just kind of like it goes in one ear, it goes out the other. It doesn't, you don't retain that information anymore because the next week you have to do another test or you have to do another thing. And and sometimes that's the way it is, right? And when you grow up, or when you have like a job, it's like that becomes your new skill set. That becomes the one thing that you solely focus on. And to go outside of that skill set and expect like amazing results right off the bat is where a lot of people mess up, or they feel like, oh, because I'm not good at this thing, because it's not in my skill set anymore, doing it is kind of like a waste of time. Does that make sense? It's like because it's not involved in my skill set now, it doesn't really definitively mark whether or not what I do is good or bad, or like it doesn't affect my life in the same way that if I'm not good at my job, I can't afford to eat. You know what I mean? Like there's a difference there. I can comfortably afford to do hobbies or to do stuff that like isn't like a job. Like playing video games can be a job, right? But some people are a little afraid to take that chance or to take that risk at like making it a full-time job, because there's no guarantee of like anything, right? Like there's we think about it like, oh, it's cool, you get paid to play paid to play video games, but then you wake up to the reality that like, okay, but there's no health insurance, there's no anything, there's no backup, there's no comfort in that job. It's kind of like you have to make the money for everything and then you have to pay for everything else on top of it. Like you get no benefits, so to speak. You get no help. You get no rewards or anything from it. You know what I mean? The benefits are not there, so you kind of just like have to keep on trying at it. So it's difficult to jump out of that skill, out of what you know to something you don't know and expect great results. But that's why, you know, you figure out new ways to grow, or figure out the right way, or you steadily increase. You know what I mean? It's practice makes perfect. It's nobody's going to be exactly what they expect to be right at the beginning. And if you are, then it means you're pretty talented at it. You realistically can try and succeed. That's the cool thing about it. That's the moment where you can distinguish reality and a dream, is that like there comes a point where what you want to do and what you want to be, and the practice and the reality of it come closer and closer and closer together until they finally hit a point where they cross or they intersect and they become one and the same. Now you are where you want to be and doing what you want to do. It just may not look the exact way that you may want it to be, you know? And that's just life. That's just the way it rolls. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. Now, in relation to New Year's resolutions, more often than not, when you're trying these new things, it can kind of be, when do you find a limit? You know what I mean? When are you comfortable letting go of like resolutions or of doing things? Do you know what I mean? When is there like, all right, no more goals for myself. Now it's just kind of like, I mean, there's there's always going to be goals that you set for yourself. There's always going to be a build up. There's always going to be this is something I want to do for myself, or something for my family, or for my friends, or whatever. Like there's always a new step. There's always another way forward. Just, things change every day, right? Like I would be lying to you if I said that like the goals I have for myself now and for like anything I do are the same as they were last year, because they're completely different. I learned new things from last year, and I'm taking it into this year to like figure things out in a better way, in a new way, So, what is it that I really want? What is it that I can do with that newfound information, with that new experience to make life better or different, you know? How can I contribute to myself from that experience? Because I'm pretty sure that changing or becoming something new, adding something to your life takes time. It takes time to like, oh, that didn't really work out, or yeah, I failed at that, but let me try again. Or, I kept on going time after time after time, you know? And then eventually you'll get there. You'll eventually get you'll eventually get good at something if you practice it enough. If you really study it and understand it and get into the field of it, So keep on trying. That's all any of us can do, is to keep on trying to be better, keep on trying to understand ourselves and to know that this is where I'm comfortable and this is something that I want to learn. And it's not going to be easy peasy. It's not going to be as simple as I get it right on the first try. I think maybe I used this example one time or a few times. I can't recall, but I made a. I think I talked about how when I first got contacts, I was wearing glasses from like I think I was like from middle school to high school, like the beginning of high school. I was wearing glasses, and that was only a few years. But I got so comfortable with my glasses, it was just like nothing. Then when I went to my I kind of went to my oh my gosh, I can't optometrist. Is that the right word? I hope I'm not confusing it. Orthodontist is for the teeth for braces, and then optometrist is I think for the eyes. I hope I got that correct. If not, I really hope I'm not messed up here. But anyways, the optometrist I went to, and they prescribed me contacts. That was my first time ever getting contacts, and I didn't understand. I kind of was like, oh, it's like I put it on, and then that's, maybe I take them off and then I put them on again the next day. Like I thought it was like a one time, like you get one pair of contacts and then that's it, and then you kind of like, and I think that is possible where you get like a pair of contacts and they can last you a long time, so to speak. They can last you until maybe a week or so. I don't know what the exact specifics are. I just know that they gave me like a big box and it was like multiple contacts. They were just one a day use. You wear it for one day and then that's it. You throw them away. And I remember I was trying to put the contacts on and I was having a really hard time. I was really struggling with it. I couldn't put them on at they have like this little place where you can like look around and look for glasses or whatnot, and they give you like a mirror and they say, hey, try on the contacts, put them on. And I was having a really hard time putting them on, and I was just like, I don't want to go through that again because I'm not good at it, or I didn't enjoy the experience. And I was just like, I have my glasses, that's all I need, I don't want to use the contacts or whatever. And I tried again to do the contacts, and I was really really bad at it. I couldn't get the delicacy of putting them on my eye, or like I couldn't figure out how best to like put it on my eye. It was so uncomfortable and different and weird, and I was just like, I don't like the idea of like touching my eye or doing that kind of a thing. But then eventually uh I was kind of like, I was being a bit annoying and like complaining too much. And my mom, she was just kind of like, if you want, you know what I mean? Like they gave you this big box, like you're not going to waste it. Like this is something that you're not good at. You just have to keep on trying it over and over and over again until you find something that works for you. And I remember I tried it and I tried it and I tried it and I kept on getting it wrong. And I just remember playing with one, just one contact lens, and I would put it in my eye and then I would take it out and then I would put it back into like the whatever the water is that they put into like those contact contact things. And then I would try it again and again and again, and then eventually I got the hang of it with just the one eye. And then I put it in, and then I had to do the other eye, and it was like a whole new situation, but now I was having like a fresh experience, and then eventually I got it down. And now I can kind of like, anytime anything happens with like my contacts or whatever, whenever I wear them, um, I know that I'm comfortable enough to like, now I can touch my eye with no problem because like now I'm a lot more gentle. I'm a lot more easygoing with it. There was like one time I think the contact ripped like on my eye, and there was like a piece of contact stuck in my eye, and that was really scary. And if that happened on my first day, like getting the contacts, I know for a fact I would have been freaking out and not comfortable enough to take it off. But after getting comfortable putting them on my eye and taking them off my eye, I was finally able to like I was brave enough to dig it out and to like touch my eye and to like grab it and take it off. You know what I'm saying? So those are the experiences that I'm kind of talking about. Those are the things that you try, and practice makes perfect, and then eventually it builds up your confidence enough to allow yourself to become better. You know what I'm saying? So, if not for those failures at the beginning, I wouldn't have been able to help myself later on down the road. And that goes for anybody, for anything, and not just for eye contacts. That was just the one example that I use, but it could be um I've been watching well, it could be with anything. It could be with like it could be with your job, you know what I mean? It's like you tried something at your job and you failed at it, but then experience, failure after failure, trying after trying. Now you kind of get the idea of like, okay, now I know what to do when this situation pops up again. You know what I'm saying? Like when you first working like at a new job, you expect everything to be kind of like easygoing, right? But like I think about it and I'm kind of like, well, what do you do if you're like first day on the job as like well, I guess everything is kind of like a build up. But what I mean is that like, imagine it's your first day being like a doctor and you have to deal with like a surgery. It's like it's a big shock, right? But that's why they build up doctors, they build up nurses, they give them experiences and they try and try and try. And practice makes perfect, and then it becomes their skill set, and then it becomes like just natural to them, very normal for them to like, oh, this is what I do, this is how I operate. You know what I'm saying? So take that into the new year. Keep on trying, keep on failing and making new experiences because eventually they will help you. They definitely will help you. There's nothing, there's no failure that you can't learn from, you know? And those are even devastating losses, right? Especially devastating losses. If I thought about like all of the small businesses that fail every single year and how much they have to invest in themselves to recover. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like it's such a heavy burden to fail and to fail and to accumulate maybe debt, to accumulate like a certain my point being is that like they if they fail, it's a huge loss and they have to spend a big amount of time to to get it back. You know what I'm saying? It's like how many years does it take to pay off a loan that you took out so that you could open a business, right? Or to open like a store wherever, you know what I mean? How long does that take? You know? How long does it take to how much money does it take to fail? How much money does it take to succeed? And I imagine that the difference is staggering, you know? But in success, there's a more of a reward. There's a big reward if you can succeed, if you can really win when it comes to starting a business because it just becomes like now I know what I'm doing and how to make like a business, how to make this business right, or how to make what happened last time not happen, you know? And that's kind of the difficult thing. That's something that I think about often when I see a new restaurant open or I see something like a small business store maybe open up or whatever. I'm kind of thinking to myself like if they fail, I wonder how much I wonder how much they're going to I wonder what that failure is going to look like, how much money they're going to be behind on. And then thinking to myself, well, if they want to start over again, if they want to try something new, how how much time is it going to take to get there? You know what I mean? It's a constant goal to either keep a business successful or to keep it from going into the dirt, keep it from going under. And then when it goes under, getting back on top and then falling and then back on top and then falling. And it's all heavy. It's all difficult. There's nothing easy about it. But if you can succeed and keep people's attention and hopefully make something worthwhile for people and for yourself, then it becomes beneficial for everybody. It becomes like, okay, this is what I want to do, and this is an awesome venture. This is a great business, and I'm successful at it, and I'm good at it. Let me try something new. You know, let me try opening another business, right? Like that's what businessmen and businesswomen do all the time. It's like they get successful at one thing, they get really good at that, and then they diversify. They open another business or they invest in another business and they incorporate it into their portfolio and, just all of that stuff. All of that is to say that, like, when you're trying your New Year's resolutions, you have to be trying isn't just like doing it and then succeeding. It's failing at it. It's seeing the bad parts of it. It's seeing the good parts of it. It's understanding that it's a process, right? I said earlier, like, if your New Year's resolution was to like horseback ride, well, then you have to kind of learn, like, okay, this is how you get the horse ready. This is how you put the saddle on the horse. This is how you um, teach the horse how to go at a certain speed or to take it easy or to pull it back, or how, like, if it gets a little out of control, you can take hold of it, or you can stay on the back of the horse. And then when you're finished, this is how you take off the saddle. This is how you take off the leash or the whatever. This is how you clean the horse, and this is how you get rid of, like, debris, or this is how you maintain and take care of the horse and stuff like that. You know what I mean? There's always a process to it. And it's not all, oh, you just get on the horse and you go have fun and you go trolleying throughout the field and you get to race your friends and then you get to go in a big circle, and it's like, it's all fun and games. It's always, there's a right way to do things and you have to learn the process. So that's that's something to take into the new year, is that it's a process, it's a process, it's a process. And it doesn't just have to be January, it can be all throughout the year. And learning the process, appreciating the process, and being a part of it helps you become smarter. It helps you understand a lot more about what you want to pursue, So take that into the new year. I'm wishing you guys all the best with your New Year's resolutions. I hope you complete them all and you have a fun year. This is going to be great. I'm really excited. I think this year is going to be really, really good. There are a lot of things happening this year, just in this month alone. It feels like everything in January gets like big headlines early on, and that kind of like sets the tone for like the rest of the year. You know what I mean? So when that happens, just keep an eye out for like positive things. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, have a great have a great year. You know what I mean? Do your best to make it a great year. That's better. But yeah, when you're trying New Year's resolutions, try, fail, succeed, learn, and you'll be great. You'll have an amazing year. Okay. Thank you guys so much for listening. I'll talk to you guys on next time. Thank you.